Hey there, everyone. Ram here. We've all felt this sensation before. That lingering shame after making a mistake. The kind that strips away your confidence in mere milliseconds and convinces you that you're a failure. From the moment we're young, we're taught to fear mistakes. Teachers correct them, parents warn us about them, and society often treats them as something embarrassing. As if every mistake is a villain whose only job is to ruin perfection. But that's only half of the truth, because sometimes a mistake isn't the thing standing in the way of your progress. Sometimes it's the very thing helping you gradually succeed. See, most people believe that making a mistake means they failed. So they try to perfect everything. They overthink their appearance, they rewrite text messages 5 times before sending them, worried that they might say something wrong, and they carefully choose what to post online, filtering through every single one of the photos until they find the perfect one. Basically, they micromanage every little thing they do because they're terrified of looking foolish in front of everyone. And eventually, because of that mindset, they start living their lives like every day is an Instagram reel, carefully edited, polished and controlled. And if you looked at their days, you'd see that they're devoid of mistakes. You'd think they're fine, that their lives are perfect. But once you dive deeper, you discover just how much you were oblivious to. You would discover all the problems they had that they kept hidden from you. You would discover the tiny imperfections that they have. You would discover their true selves. You would discover their true form. And their weaknesses, and their strengths. And that's exactly why people try to make everything perfect. It's not because they want perfection, but because they're afraid of mistakes. They're afraid of imperfections. But making a mistake doesn't mean you're a failure because society said so. It means you were willing to try something new. It means you hit that record button even though your voice shook. You lifted your first weight knowing it would be heavy, or crocheted your first ever project while being aware that it might take hours, or even days. You started something knowing fully that it probably wouldn't be perfect. But instead of telling yourself tomorrow will be the perfect day, you acted today without any hesitation or doubt. You shot an arrow into an abyss you knew nothing about, even though you had no guarantee if it would even land in the right place. And that's the difference between making a mistake and failing. Making mistakes is part of trial and error. It's part of a loop where you try, you get something wrong, you learn from it, then you try again. And that loop keeps happening over and over again. No matter how many times you've tried, even if you've tried 10,000 times, even if you're a master by now, there's still so much more to learn, really, that you might be oblivious to. But failure, on the other hand, isn't making mistakes. Failure is convincing yourself that you'll start one day while never actually taking the first step towards starting. It's watching the person you want to become drift further away, one excuse at a time, simply because you're waiting for the perfect moment, which will never come. Because right now is the perfect moment. This is the youngest you'll ever be while attempting this thing. And that's what most people think. And that's exactly the issue. We spend so much of our lives trying to avoid mistakes by lying to ourselves, by telling ourselves that we're waiting for the perfect moment to come, that we forget what we do without them. Because if mistakes disappeared altogether, success wouldn't just become easier to achieve, it would become shallower, almost like a word that has no meaning. Success without mistakes would be similar to a plain unseasoned A5 Wagyu steak. It's expensive, it's impressive, but it lacks the very ingredient that gives it meaning and depth: mistakes. Which is why it tastes so bland. And success works exactly the same way. It's best served with mistakes. Those mistakes are the seasoning. They what make success meaningful. Because if everything you wanted was simply handed to you, without any struggle, setbacks, or sacrifices, then how do you expect success to taste good in the first place? Would it even feel rewarding? Would you feel proud of it? Probably not. And that's what most people will discover if that's how reality worked. The obstacles in your journey are what give the final destination its value. They're what makes success an achievement that's earned with hard work, not a gift that's received. So, the next time you replay one of your mistakes over and over again in your head, feeling like you just committed a societal crime, remember this: making a mistake doesn't mean you necessarily failed. It means you had the courage to try. Maybe your attempt wasn't perfect. Maybe it didn't even work. But in the end, you earned something from attempting. You became a person the old version of you never was. You became someone who was willing to begin working towards success, even if it meant going through the loop of trial and error over and over and over again without any clear end. If you made it up until this point, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you see mistakes from a different perspective. Have a great day and see you in the next video, hopefully. Jam out.